If you didn't see my other videos the past couple days, you won't understand this, but just a brief rundown, and not even a rundown, just Maryville Academy was somebody I worked for 12 years ago. They were doing a bunch of corruption, targeted me. They used a union so that the hospital could close. So they could get state's approval to close. Yep. So here's the thing. I've said before, this was a freestanding psych facility, meaning it wasn't connected to a hospital. So you can't just close your hospital if you want to, even a freestanding one. So the way it worked was bring the union in, and then they can't afford it. And then it was a reason for Sister Kathy, who still runs Maryville Academy. She shouldn't be there. She really, I'll explain why. But she needed to show that there's a reason she needed to close. The union was the perfect reason, because this all took place right. We didn't have a contract yet. We had just voted the union in. So they did this right before, with targeting me and that kid. They did this, right before we were set to go to the table for negotiations. And she said the reason they were requesting the state to allow them to close is because they couldn't afford having a nurses union. So it was with UIC, and I say UIC because the chief nursing officer came from UIC, and Illinois Nurses Association's biggest union nursing contract is at UIC. So very designed. The union knew what they were doing. They did. They knew none of it was going to go anywhere. It was to help her, because ultimately down the road, you'll see. Yep. Let me take you on the journey. Let's start here. Yes, Maryville Academy was days away from closing its psychiatric hospital in Des Plaines in 2014, when it was offered a lifeline from a New York doctor turned entrepreneur. Oh, it's a miracle. Oh, yeah, okay. Richard Kresh, a psychiatrist, had just started for a for-profit company to acquire or start up psychiatric hospitals, less than 2 years after closing the deal for Maryville. Yes, so Kresh, let me show you who Kresh is. Kresh founded Ascend Health in 2005, and as CEO, built it into the largest privately held psychiatric hospital company with $200 million in annual revenue. Ascend Health was sold to Universal Health Services in 2012. Earlier in Dr. Kresh's career, he founded and led Heartland Health Developments, a psychiatric care provider that was sold to Psychiatric Solutions in 2004. So he has been, there's these freestanding psych hospitals, which is what Maryville was. The other freestanding psych hospitals in Illinois, anyway, most of them were UHS, which is Universal Health Services. Universal Health Services came under a ton of fire. I can get into that in another video. With the federal government, but it's not like I think the federal government was really going after them. It just allowed them to form a commitment together, an integrity commitment, with our federal government. I'll do that in another video, because all of the things that were written about Universal Health Services is unbelievable, but then it doesn't surprise me. They're a company that doesn't want you to think outside the box. Literally, they say it's dangerous. But getting back to this psychiatrist Kresh and the good old Sister Kathy, it's important to know this about Sister Kathy. So see how it says Maryville's executive director, Sister Kathy Ryan, OSF, always after her name, OSF. Well, that's a sister fraternity, a sister order. Yeah, like I think it's more along the lines of like a Nun Mafia. I know it seems strange, but she's a lawyer too. That doesn't make sense. It's sort of like you're waiting for the joke, a lawyer and a nun walk into a bar kind of thing. Yeah, she's both. But yeah, she's part of an order. Yeah, everybody in there. It's not a secret one. It's just, well, let me show you. Ta-da! 2022. So screw me over, screw the kid over, get the union to help you. Say you got to close Maryville, and then at the last minute, days away from it closing, who swoops in? Your knight in shining armor, the psychiatrist Richard Kresh, who buys the acute hospital, and then has been just building ever since. Yep. OSF Healthcare, and there's OSF in Illinois. I'm sure there is in other states. If not, you'll soon meet them, I'm sure, because they have a major monopoly going on, more in the sector of, it's all the mental health, and it figures that's what they would do. Anyway, so they're partnering with U.S. Health Vest on new behavioral health hospital. So see, that nun used me. She used one of her patients in her care, all to help the union have a reason so that they could go to the state and say, we can't afford to stay open, because this says all serving globalists. It is. You talk about a monopoly. They already have the monopoly in the federal government because of their integrity commitment. Well, these mental health hospitals will be a disaster, especially explains why many of them don't want to they're no longer using Velcro restraints. No, they're up to no good, but then they're in bed with the government. Anyway, so let me tell you what's important to know. Here's a little bit about the OSF and where it comes from. OSF Healthcare is a not-for-profit Catholic healthcare organization that operates a medical group, hospital system, and other healthcare facilities in Illinois and Michigan. Headquartered in Peoria, Illinois, OSF Healthcare is owned and operated by the Sisters of the Third Order of St. Francis. Yeah, this is why I can't do the Catholic thing anymore, and you nuns. I mean, yeah, I really think you're just your own mafia. That's why most of you are so mean. And this is about the OSF. It's the third branch of the Franciscan family, formed by Catholic men and women who seek to observe the gospel of Jesus by following the examples of Francis of Assisi. Secular Franciscans are not like the other third orders, since they are not under the higher direction of the same institute. Brothers and sisters of the secular Franciscan order make a spiritual commitment to their own rule. Oh, of course, their own rule. That explains it. That explains why the nun lawyer that heads up, the most vulnerable people in our population, who had no problem targeting me with a bunch of lies and interrogating a 15-year-old kid, all to try to twist his words around. Yeah, that explains a lot. So you think Jesus would be okay with this? Absolutely not, because they follow their own rule. Got it. Reading this whole thing, it sounds like a Nun Mafia. I mean, not one that I would fear, but yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like a bed of corruption that comes on this, we're holy, yes, and then these miracles happen for them, right? Come in, buy Maryville Academy days before they were going to close. How convenient. All works for the globalists, huh? And the globalists, what do? The best? They step all over people. Yeah. So, here's the symbol for this, I don't know, Nun Mafia. That's the way this just sounds like it's just another damn order. Yep, there it is. International fraternity, national fraternity, regional fraternity, and local fraternity. Yeah. So all the fraternities, and they've all colluded together, and they're going to destroy mental health. They have already, but they're just up to no good. So, Sister Kathy totally made out with closing that hospital because she got on board with something even bigger.